All right, X or Twitter, Grok's new image editor just got dropped. And anyone can edit your art now without permission. So what do we do? Because there's another mass exodus from Twitter now, and maybe this is the time because it's like your work can now be randomly edited by randos. So let's talk about it. So basically on Christmas Eve, they added a button that goes on an image, and it allows anyone to edit images posted on the platform using simple text prompts, and it started a massive controversy. So let me show you. Okay, so let's look at this image you see right here. You see that right there? It says edit image. You can click on it and then you can, do whatever. But yeah, you can click on it now and you just put in a text prompt. And what it's technically doing is it's using image to image. Now, image to image is it uses the image to create another image that's similar in a way that like it uses the lines from the original to make something new. Okay. And people are upset because there's no opt out, no way to stop people from doing it. It can just be done natively across the board. And when I started talking about it, someone actually took my profile picture, which is super zoomed in, and then was like, oh, artist. And I just blocked them because idiot. And everyone is really upset about this. Like, a lot of artists just want to leave Twitter. They want to leave Instagram. They want to leave all of their socials behind and find a place where they can just post their art without actually having people try to take it or use it on AI, whatever. All those things. People just don't want that shit no more. People are damn tired of it. Okay, I'm tired of it. I'm sure you're tired of it. Everyone's tired of it. And here's an example of what somebody did. So this is a Halloween, not Halloween, but a Christmas. It says, Merry Christmas, and it has this girl, whatever. And then someone's like, fix all the mistakes done by the colorist, improve the drawing, remove all the text, and show the legs fully with sexy high heels. So it just makes her drawing uglier because it looks like that over-processed AI shit. So I wanted to show you another person who's basically having the same thing done with them. I support AI, and it's always like weird, creepy, gross accounts. It says right here, you're gay and your shit sucks. Nobody's going to steal it. Also, your art is completely derivative and steals from countless other more talented gay weebs. Like, why would you even say that? Like, gross. This is probably an weird AI account. Probably nothing account. Somebody, like, what do you mean her art's ugly, bruh? Like, shut the fuck up. So now people are looking for alternatives to this situation. So VGen actually offered something, and I'm going to go over that because I'm like really happy that VGen had an idea. So this person named Muncha, it's a co-founder of VGen. They had an idea, so I'll show you what they have right here. And it says, testing VGen preview thumbnails as media to help artists and clients share on X without allowing your art to be forcibly taken by AI. And it goes here, I was going to make a holiday greeting, but instead here we are. You can already share VGen links, portfolio links for artists, and VSona gallery links as media posts, but we're looking into optimizing these further ASAP. We hope to help artists and clients take back as much agency over their art as possible. So basically, I guess you upload to VGen if you have one, and then you post the link over on Twitter. And somebody else suggested that you can also do this with Tumblr. So post your art on Tumblr, post the link back over, same thing. So down here is where we get to Osias. And Osias says, this method doesn't actually do you any good if you're not a VGen artist. VGen is invite only. Most of us don't have the privilege, which is true, because you need to like work to get there because they try to keep slop off of the site, and the only way to do that is to basically vet every artist. So Osias also had an interesting thing go on here where basically I don't know, it doesn't say. Sorry, guy. So Osias wants to help artists out who have been having trouble finding their place, and if they want to leave Twitter and find some place else to post their artwork. This dude had some suggestions. So I'm going to go over the list that they gave, right? And it says here, I promised you guys the big master list of Japanese Twitter alternatives for artists, and here it is. A lot of Western artists don't realize that Japanese artists never centralized on X the way we did. They've been running multi-platform strategies for years. Pixiv for portfolio, Twitter for community, Skep for commissions, Miski for decentralized backup, etc. and so on. They saw what we're only now learning. Relying on a single platform is structural weakness. While we were building an entire careers on one site, they were spreading risk and building redundancy. That being said, here is a master list of some platforms they've been using and why you should consider them now. General art websites, Pixiv. Most of you guys already know about this one. It's the largest Japanese art sharing platform. Functions such as portfolios and a community hub, strong discovery features, tagging system, built-in commission functionality. Pixiv has always been the standard for Japanese artists since 2007. Xfolio is a portfolio platform specifically designed for professional artists and illustrators. Clean, minimalist presentation, focused on showcasing finished work rather than social engagement. Popular for job hunting and client acquisition. Miski, decentralized, federated social platform, like Mastodon, but Japanese originated. User-run instances, meaning no single corporate owner can just pull the rug out. Popular with artists who want a Twitter-like functionality without a centralized control. The downside is that you need to operate your own server, which is Niji or Niji, because me. Similar to Pixiv, but allows more mature content. Popular with certain artist communities. Skeb, commission-focused platform. Client request, artists accept, decline. No revisions allowed. Pixiv Fanbox. Pixiv's Patreon-like subscription service for creators. Nico Nico Sega. Illustration shared tying to Nico Nico Doga, the video platform. Federated, decentralized. Pawu, Mastodon instance for artists, originally run by Pix. Barag, another Mastodon instance popular with artists. International, but has Japanese user base. Portfolio/professional, Art Street by Medibang. Focused on illustrate sharing and contests. Galleria for a portfolio platform. Pixiv Sketch. More casual sketch focus than main Pixiv. Mobile focused. Ibis Paint has a strong sharing component built into the drawing app. Most Japanese artists tend to maintain presence on multiple platforms simultaneously. Pixiv for the main polio, Twitter X for whips, and community, maybe Skep for commissions. The migration hasn't always been dramatic in Japan as it is in Western artist communities, which is to their credit. I'm aware that many of these alternatives come with a language barrier. That's a problem, but there exist workarounds. In my next thread, I'm going to talk about overcoming the language barrier and interacting with Japanese-speaking online spaces. Stay tuned for more. Let's see. Give me a minute. So because I chose Pixiv, I just wanted to show you guys, you basically just upload your work. You can adjust the thumbnail so that people could see it. And then you could scroll down here. I might ask my husband to translate this for me. We'll see. I don't know. So people can read this. So I might stick with using Pixiv, but we'll look over the other thing that you guys can do to deal with people bothering your accounts on Twitter. And look at me. I made a new piece of work. This is all I got. This is all I got. Sorry. I made an account so I could follow other people. I'll finish this later. But if you have a Pixiv, you can feel free to follow me. I use Nija, so I'll be uploading stuff there. You guys, I'll link it below. So I'm gonna have to come back to this video in a few minutes. Well, not a few minutes, but for you guys it'll be like a second. This person's going to give some good etiquette and how to post on Pixiv and Japanese sites. So I'm going to put that in this video. And I'm not going to make you wait for it. So I'm going to wait for it to come out and then I'm going to talk about it. I'll be back. I wanted to show you guys how to do the GIF thing with CapCut real quick in case you guys have not done it yet. So right here, I have my timeline. I'm going to turn off my Vtuber model real quick. Okay, so you basically for desktop, you drag and drop onto the timeline, which is right here. And then I decided I wanted to put an effect on, which is the fairy glitter because it's really just more annoying. So you copy and paste it onto there and it adds a blur effect. And when you look at it, it does this. Super annoying, just super annoying. And then you go to export and you scroll down to GIF and then you have to pay for it obviously to get these two options. But then you just export and then you can look at it in your folder and there it is. I think that this is a super easy tutorial. Yes, It's going to make your art kind of shitty and low quality. But to be honest, I think this is the best way to deal with it for now. It's super small, so, and it has all this stuff all over it. So they literally have to take a picture of it and then remove it. And I know this, a lot of people say that there's no point in doing this. I think the point to doing this is the fact that it's kind of like a level of annoyance. If you could stop people right before they start, like anyone could save your art and then move it over to another platform or move it into Grok. But the fact that they would have to do a screenshot first and move it elsewhere is like one pass to stop them. Most people stop at this first thing where they're like, oh, I can't do it, and then that's it. So there you go. Hope this helps. And if you guys are enjoying this video, please subscribe to my channel so I can get to 15K. And if it isn't too much to ask, if you could go over to my Patreon and subscribe so you could see my full res art and all the stuff that I love and support the channel. That would be super awesome. There's 2 tiers. Anyway, back to the video. Okay, I am back with the comprehensive guide that was posted like while I was sleeping. It says the comprehensive guide to Japanese internet etiquette. We're just going to skip this part. So, because it's like, you don't need to walk on eggshells. It's just a way you got to do it. All right. Basic communication norms. Japanese Twitter has altogether different conventions for how people structure their posts, and ignoring these mistakes makes you stand out like an outsider immediately. You get singled out as the proverbial nail that needs hammering. Formatting. Line breaks are used differently in Japanese. Japanese users tend to write shorter, more segmented blocks rather than long paragraphs. They also use specific types of emojis and cow emojis, text like this right here that you see. You know what? I'll do it without. Hold on. Those emojis have cultural meaning that you might not understand first. Language. Even if you're posting in English, understanding basic politeness markers matters. Japanese has multiple levels of formality, and this bleeds with how people interact, even when code switching. Don't assume casual friendliness is the default. Actually observe how others in this space communicate first, and only then engage. For your profile, your bio matters. Include a brief self-introduction and what you're interested in. A blank profile or one that's purely English with no attempt at Japanese makes you look like you're not serious about engaging with the community. So I would say, like, do both. Do a little brief introduction in Japanese, and somebody said use Deep L in the comments. I'll post a link in the description for you guys, and it says do one in English and then do one in Japanese. Let's see. So the NOK signal. If a Japanese user has NOK or English OK in their bio, it means that they're open to English language interactions. If they don't have this marker, default to Japanese or do not engage with them at all. Ignoring this signal and forcing English on people who haven't indicated they're comfortable with it is considered rude. It makes them look silly and you overbearing. Tweak composition and style. Japanese artists approach posting their work differently from Western artists, and this is immediately noticeable. Minimalism over explanation. When Western artists tend to talk about their process in great detail. I struggle with this, use these brushes, here's my process. Japanese artists usually post with a simple caption, often just a character name or a simple poetic phrase, sometimes just, I'll show you guys, it's sometimes a little star emoji or the writing emoji. There is aesthetic framing. When Japanese artists do write captions, they often write poetic or atmospheric rather than technical. They evoke character and add atmosphere. Think rainy afternoon thoughts instead of portrait study using limited palette. This works for itself, and the caption sets the mood. Less process talk. You don't see much struggle with this piece, not happy with this turned out, but posting anyway. There's less self-depreciation and less performative vulnerability. The art is presented with quiet confidence or not presented at all. It's almost like being part of an in real life art gallery in a sense. Hashtags, where unlike Western Twitter, where hashtags are almost obsolete, Japanese Twitter uses them actively and strategically. Artists use hashtags daily and categorize their work for discovery and curation. You'll see hashtags for specific fandoms, art challenges, original character tags, seasonal themes, and aesthetic categories. These aren't performative. They're functional organization tools that help people find the content that they're interested in. If you have not used it before, think of like Danbaru. It's like a more mature site, but they have a lot of tags actually over there. So you can literally find like white hair, comma, Other thing, you can also see that on zerochan.net. It says how to use hashtags. Research which hashtags are used in your niche before posting. Don't spam irrelevant tags for visibility. Use them consistently so your work becomes discoverable. Follow hashtags to find communities and artists in your space. Proper hashtag use signals that you understand how the platform works and helps you integrate into existing communities rather than shouting into the void. You don't have to adopt this style completely. Walls of explanatory text read very Western. If you want to blend in, let your work speak and keep the captions concise. Engagement etiquette. How you interact with others on the Japanese platform is just as important as what you post. The quote retweets function differently in Japanese spaces. They're primarily used for appreciation and sharing, content curation. Hey, look, this work is beautiful. Most Japanese Twitter people don't use quote retweets for dunking criticism or starting arguments. Combative quote retweets are seen as aggressive and disrespectful. If you disagree with something, handle it privately or not at all. So if you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, basically. For replies, the culture is more reserved. Don't jump into strangers' conversations uninvited. If you're just replying to the art, keep it positive and concise. Long, unprompted critique threads are unwelcome unless explicitly requested. This is a good policy we should adopt in between spaces as well. There's nothing more frustrating than receiving a critique you didn't ask for. And for disagreeing, the Japanese culture values social harmony and avoiding public confrontation. If you agree with someone, the expectation is to either discuss it privately or simply disengage. Public arguments make everyone uncomfortable and reflect poorly on you. So basically, when you first start, don't say shit to nobody. Just be nice. Be nice all the time. Just be nice. Blocking is normalized and not considered rude. People will often block preemptively based on vibes, associations, and simply not wanting certain kinds of content in their feed. Don't take it personal. Don't make drama about being blocked. Just accept it and move on. The ratio doesn't exist on Japanese Twitter. High engagement doesn't mean someone's being dogpiled. It might just mean the post resonated. For tagging, don't tag people into drama or arguments. Don't tag artists demanding explanations for their work. Respect boundaries. Subtweeting. Vague posting exists, but functions more like vent into the void rather than a post call out. If you're going to subtweet, keep it vague. Let's talk about Western activism. I feel like a lot of people are going to find this interesting probably. Let's address this directly without any overhedging. Over the past years, English-speaking activists have repeatedly targeted Japanese artists with targeted harassment campaigns over content they deem problematic. Artists have been dogpiled for drawing characters with skin tones that are too light in certain lighting scenarios, or for fictional age gaps, for body types, for ship dynamics, and the list goes on. I've seen that before. I've seen that. Japanese communities have watched this happen again and again and again, and they associate this behavior with Western users, specifically English speakers. This is a major reason why there's resistance to foreigners joining their spaces, and our reputation has been deeply and profoundly tarnished because of it. I'm going to be completely blunt and monosyllabic about this because it needs to be said. If you engage in this behavior, you will be blocked, muted, and ostracized, and you will deserve it. Japanese artists value creative freedom, social harmony, and will not tolerate attempts to police their work through moral grandstanding. I mean, I kind of knew that was going to be a thing. I kind of knew. Do not do this. If you do, there will be consequences for you and everyone else. The consequences of violation. Here's what happens when you ignore these guidelines. No warnings, no second chances, just blocks. Japanese users will not engage in lengthy explanations about why you're being blocked. They won't give you second chances to correct your behavior. You'll just simply be blocked and muted, often without ever knowing why. This isn't personal. It's effectively boundary setting. Mass blocking is real. Once you get a reputation for bad behavior, it spreads. Block lists get shared. One violation can result in dozens or hundreds of people preemptively blocking you before you even interacted with them. Region locking exists too. Some Japanese artists have implemented region-based blocking for English-speaking users because of past problems. Enough Westerners have behaved badly, entire communities will close their doors. Your individual behavior contributes to the collective exclusion. You don't get second chances. Western platforms often call this idea calling in versus calling out, or giving people room to learn and grow. The Japanese community do not operate this way. First impression matters. A violation means that you're out. The stakes are higher than you think because one Westerner messing up means reputation demolition for all of us. Act accordingly. In conclusion, if you follow these guidelines, Japanese communities will welcome you. If you're not looking for perfection, they merely want genuine respect and effort to understand their culture. You don't need to be fluent in Japanese. You don't need to become Japanese. You just need to recognize that you're a guest in their spaces, and guests who show respect are valued. Oh, I feel like this is written by AI. Foundations require both sides. You need to do the work to understand the community that you're entering, and you'll find opportunities, friendships, and creative connections that otherwise wouldn't exist. The Japanese art community is is amazing, but people have been burned by others who did not respect their social norms. So don't be one of those people. Just be humble and try to learn what you can from, I guess, the culture. Respect the boundaries and you'll find friends. Well, personally, I don't know how this will work with Pixiv or whatever. I'm going to do my best. So one of the things that I did see is that this dude is Osias. He's going to put another thing on Twitter tomorrow for like what general things to say. Now I'm a little bit lucky where my husband's already fluent in Japanese, so he can kind of help me with stuff. But Osias says don't use Google Translate, use DeepL, which is another language learning model for translation. So I guess it's at that point you're just using AI, but a part of me believes that maybe they wrote that with AI, and I don't know if they speak English natively, so it's like, what do? What do? But if you guys have any advice, or if there's any people who are Japanese in my audience that would love to give some advice, please feel free to give whatever you would like to say. I would love to hear it. And please subscribe to my channel. I put this together hoping that I could put the whole situation to... Oh my god, ICE is coming after me. Jesus Christ. Anyway, oh my god, it's so distracting. I freaking hate it. Anyway, if anyone has, experience with Pixiv, because that's where I'm going to be, that's where I will post my art now. I could still post it on Instagram, but I posted glazed. But if you guys still want my art, if you want to see it bigger and you want to help support the channel, please go over to Patreon. That is where I post all my stuff at, and please subscribe to my channel. And I don't know if I'll have a video before New Year's, but we'll see. But we'll see what's going to happen. We'll see what's going to happen. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.